What if I told you there was a coming-of-age movie that captures Black family life, first love, awkward teenage moments, and a summer vacation with the same nostalgic charm as some of the classics, but hardly anyone talks about it today? That's exactly what the Inkwell delivers. Released in 1994 and set during the summer of 1976, The Inkwell is one of those films that quietly became a cult favorite. It isn't driven by huge action scenes or over-the-top drama. Instead, it's about growing up, finding confidence, navigating family expectations, and surviving one unforgettable summer. In honor of summer, we're taking a look back to The Inkwell. The movie starts off playing Do It Till You Satisfied by BT Express. The soundtrack for the movie has all the 70s hits that will have you jamming for the entire movie. Drew is racing home on his bike in the middle of the night. At first glance, it seems like he's talking to himself, but the camera pans out and shows us that he's arguing with his doll, Yago, that's sitting in a bicycle basket. Back at home, we see his father trying to wake him up and giving him a pep talk about visiting their bougie relatives. Just as Drew's father was trying to have an emotional moment with his son, Drew flies through the window and knocks his father off the bed. His father pulls the blanket back and sees that Drew has pillows and an afro wig under the blankets. His parents asked him where he's been, and he told them he was getting fresh air. His irritated father picks up Drew's doll and throws it, telling him to leave it at home. The family is packing up the car, and his father is upset that Drew's mother is allowing him to bring his bike and doll. His father says that he has no business being 16 years old playing with a doll. His mother tells him to hush up all that noise. Drew's parents, Brenda and Kenny Tate, are played by Suzanne Douglas, God rest her soul, and Joe Morton. Kenny is a militant former Black Panther dressed in a leather jacket, leather hat, and an African medallion. The father turns around and sees Drew with his face pushed against the window, making a funny face. You can see the disgust in his father's eyes. Brenda sighs and says this is going to be a long ride. When the Tate family arrives to their family's home in Martha's Vineyard, they're greeted by Brenda's sister, Frances Phillips, played by Vanessa Bell Calloway, and her loud and obnoxious husband, Spencer Phillips, played by Glenn Turman. The movie was definitely star-studded. Frances says, "Where's Drew?" and he pops out of the backseat, scaring his auntie. They hug and go inside. While Kenny is unloading the car, Spencer starts the drama, already telling Kenny that this is America and disrespecting the Black Panther movement. Spencer is a loud and proud Black Republican, and he lets us know this throughout the entire movie. Kenny just ignores him and continues to unload the car. In the house, Brenda is catching up with her sister, saying that it's been a long 5 years since they last visited Martha's Vineyard. Frances says it's Brenda's fault and that the family wouldn't have visited them if their house didn't almost burn down. Brenda gives Frances a look that lets her know to stop having that conversation. They're interrupted by Brenda and Frances' mother walking down the stairs saying, "There's my baby, come give me a hug." When Brenda tries to walk up and hug her mother, she pushes her away and says, "Not you, I'm talking to Drew." We can see that Brenda is hurt and that there's a long, painful history between the two. She tells Brenda, "I see you finally came to see your old mother before I die." Very passive-aggressive. She's played by the great Mary Alice, God rest her soul. She tells Drew to go upstairs to his cousin's room, turns around and stares at her daughter, who she hasn't seen in 5 years, and says out of her mouth, "You're looking fat." Then sashayed away yelling, "Where's the Black Panther?" Brenda should have told Drew to come on and left right then and there. The disrespect was way too much. Drew walks into his cousin Junior's room and is disgusted by the funk and filth. He doesn't know how he's going to get through the next 14 days there. Junior, who's played by Dwayne Martin, wakes up and is excited to see his cousin. Drew makes a little corny joke and his cousin's like, Anyway, Junior tells Drew how he gets down with the ladies and asks Drew if he's still a virgin, which makes Drew so uncomfortable. We can instantly see that Drew is very different from guys his age, and everyone around him sees him as weird. One thing that always stood out to me about this movie was Lorenz Tate's transition from the chaotic, menacing O-Dog in Menace to Society in 1993 to the gentle, eccentric, slightly neurodivergent Drew in The Inkwell in 1994. This movie highlighted his acting range early in his career. With both iconic roles released only a year apart, Lorenz Tate said, "You won't typecast me? I know that's right." But back to the movie. Brenda tells Drew that they're going to the beach and asks Drew if he wants to come, but he declines and falls asleep. When he wakes up, he looks out the window and he sees a beautiful girl practicing ballet. We later find out her name is Lauren Kelly and she's played by Jada Pinkett. Drew grabs Iago and runs out the door to find her, but she's gone by the time he gets out there. He hops on his bike and sets out to find the girl. He runs into his cousin, and Junior takes him to the Inkwell, a beautiful black beach. Spencer is running his mouth and telling the history of the Inkwell. Kenny says that all of this is BS and that they're all bougie Negroes. Spencer, Francis, and the grandmother laughs in Kenny's face, and you could tell Kenny was ready to go from the beginning. On another part of the beach, Junior is teaching Drew how to be a pervert and all about macking, so he calls it. Back to the adults at the beach, Spencer says in a very condescending way, "He's okay, right?" Brenda and Kenny looks at him, and then Francis whispers, "We said we wouldn't talk about him." Spencer plays dumb and says, "We're all family here, right?" Spencer keeps pushing and says the fire thing. Francis' bird brain self tells Brenda, "I know you told me not to say anything about how the fire started, but he's my husband." Spencer keeps pushing, and then the grandmother jumps in it and makes it worse. Francis tells Brenda and Kenny that they have a psychiatrist friend on the island that can help Drew. Kenny shuts that down immediately, and Spencer further insults him, saying, "Don't worry about the cost." Kenny yells, "My son is not crazy." At that moment, Junior and Drew walks up and says hi. Drew takes off his sunglasses and has seashells on his eyes. Everybody looks at him like he's insane.
Hey everybody. Hi folks. Like my seashells? You know, seashells? Get it, my seashells? Junior, my seashells. I don't need glasses.
Later on that night, Junior convinces Drew to go to a party with him, but he clowns his corduroy pants and button-up shirt. Junior lets him borrow some of his clothes. Kenny and Spencer continue to argue about politics and Malcolm X. Spencer is drowning himself in liquor, being annoying. Brenda follows Kenny out to the beach and they start arguing until Kenny literally runs off. Junior's two silly friends pulls up to pick Junior and Drew up. They instantly clown Drew. On the way to the party, Junior and his friends are practicing their tired pickup lines and emptying a bottle of oil sheen on their froze. At the party, the guys split up and Drew tries to use their weak pickup lines on a girl and gets turned down. Drew stands on the wall alone and sees Lauren standing by herself on the dance floor. Junior's friends hype him up to ask Lauren to dance, but another guy starts dancing with her. Drew tries to cut in, but the guy pushes him to the ground. Junior's friends laugh and Drew runs off out of the party embarrassed. The next day, Brenda and Francis are eating breakfast and reminiscing. Of course, their mother walks in the kitchen with something smart to say. Spencer walks in and tells Brenda that he spoke to the psychiatrist and she's available today. Drew comes downstairs and lies about all the fun he had at the party. He tries to strike a match to light the stove, and everybody panics. At the psychiatrist appointment, the doctor is asking Drew about how he feels about the beach and if he misses his friends back home. His father says that he doesn't have any friends. Drew tells her that he has one friend and his father loses it. He says that his son should be focused on girls and being a hard-headed, normal boy. Brenda goes off and tells Kenny that he would rather their son be a hoodlum running the streets like he was at his age. The session is up and nothing has been accomplished. The doctor tells Brenda that this session is on the house. She tells Drew that he can drop by any time. Brenda apologizes to Drew and his parents pulls off. Drew takes Iago out and tells him that he can come out later. The psychiatrist watches him from the window. She's played by the beautiful Phyllis Yvonne Stickney. After the failed session, Drew walks over to a tennis court and sees a young couple, Heather and Harold, played by AJ Johnson and Morris Chestnut, playing tennis. AJ falls and Drew helps her up. We can already see that Morris Chestnut's character Harold is not a very good husband. Drew and Junior walks on the beach and they see Lauren Kelly. Junior tells Drew not to go over to her, but he goes anyway. Lauren wasn't interested in what he had to say until she looked in the distance and saw her ex-boyfriend smiling in another girl's face. Drew blows it and walks back over to his cousin. Later on that night, the parents are having a house party and everybody's having a great time, except for Drew. Drew is upstairs in Junior's room talking to Yago. Junior comes upstairs with a girl and tells Drew to get out. Drew takes a walk on the beach and runs into Heather. They spark up a nice conversation until Harold comes out of the party and tells her to come on. He's so aggressive with his wife in every scene. The next day, Junior and his friends take Drew to a nude beach, and they're disappointed when they see the selection of people on the beach. While Drew was walking, he happened to trip over a couple. It was Harold and another girl. Drew apologized, but Harold goes off and tells him to get out of there. Drew visits the psychiatrist and she braids his hair up while they talk. She brings up his friend and Drew acts confused. She asks to meet his friend and asks if he's ashamed of him. Drew introduces her to Yago. It was a wholesome moment until she asked Drew about the fire he started at home. He said it was an accident. His experiment got out of control. He was holding back tears while talking to the doctor. She gave him some words of encouragement and continues to do his hair. Drew leaves and runs into Heather. She's standing on the corner waiting for her cheating husband to pick her up, but Drew convinces her to ride on his bike. We see Lauren folding her arms as she sees him ride down the street with Heather. Drew takes Heather home and they bond over their love for jazz music. Harold comes in the house asking Drew where he knows him from, not realizing that he saw him at the nude beach cheating. Then he puts Drew out. He tells his wife that he's going to be working all night. We can tell that this is an everyday occurrence with him cheating and lying. Kenny takes Drew fishing and asks him if he's met any girls. He then tells his son to ask him any questions that he has about women. Drew asks him about a woman's anatomy, which throws his father all the way off, but he's extremely happy that his son asked him about that. When they return home, Drew's mom tells him that Lauren Kelly called for him. Drew runs over to her house and bangs on the door. Lauren comes out with a stank attitude and acts like she didn't call, but she says she wants to ride his bike to the arcade. Still being rude and snobby, she obviously wanted to ride the bike because she saw him having fun with another woman. On the tennis court, Spencer is still being obnoxious to Kenny, and they end up fighting. Back at the arcade date, Lauren says she's hungry, and Drew suggested pizza. Lauren says she wants lobster, but Drew tells her that he doesn't have that kind of money. She looks at him like he's speaking another language. Lauren takes Drew to a dock and tells him to jump into 30-foot deep water and steal her a lobster that's in a trap. He tells her that he can't swim, but she still pushes him in. Luckily, Drew survives and he managed to get a lobster for Lauren. They cook the lobster on the beach and chat it up. Lauren tells him that she's going to be a famous dancer or actor one day. Lauren tells him that her parents divorced and that her father left. She asks Drew which parent will he go with when they split up, and tells him that divorce is inevitable. They have a deep conversation and end their date. Drew drops Lauren off and asks if she would like to be his date for the 4th of July parade. She agrees and tells him to pick her up at 8 on the dot. Drew is super excited. When he goes home, Junior wants all the details. He's disappointed that Drew didn't sleep with Lauren. Drew hears his parents arguing and that messes up his whole night. He thinks about what Lauren told him about divorce. The next day at the parade, Drew sees Harold cheating with another woman. He follows him and catches him in the act around the building. Drew goes to Heather's house and he tries to tell her that her husband is cheating, but he can't gather his words. At the beach, Brenda walks up to her mother and tries to spark up a conversation, but her mother acts like she doesn't want to be bothered with her. Until Brenda walks away and she yells out to Brenda that she loves her and waves in the distance. Brenda finds Kenny sitting on some rocks in deep thought, and they have a heartfelt conversation, kiss, and make up. Back to Drew. He's hiding in the bushes and we see Harold packing his trunk with his spinning night bag. He reads a letter that says he's caught, and Drew puts weights on his car doors, which prevents him from opening the door. He makes the car start smoking. Harold is screaming at the top of his lungs and escapes the car through the soft-top convertible, running to his wife. At the beach, Spencer has on a neck brace due to Kenny putting a pause on him. Spencer is still starting stuff with a stiff neck. Kenny apologizes and they halfway make up. Later on that night, Drew is getting ready for his date with Lauren Kelly, and Junior is telling him to change, clowning his clothes, but Drew tells him no. Junior gives Drew a condom, and Drew leaves. He's so excited, walking up to Lauren's door with flowers. He knocks on her door for a while, then waits on the porch. As time goes by, we see Drew getting more and more worried. Back at Heather and Harold's house, Harold is still being rude to Heather, rushing her, telling her hurry up so they can go to the parade. He was saying that he didn't even want to go to the parade. She walks out and throws his spinning night bag at him with the wine bottle in the bag. Harold continues to lie and tries to flip it on her. Heather kicks him out and cries her eyes out. Drew's still sitting on Lauren's porch getting more and more anxious. The sun is down now. He then sees Lauren's bedroom light flick on, and we see Lauren and her ex-boyfriend in their underwear kissing and hugging. Lauren sees Drew in the window and continues to kiss the guy. He's heartbroken. He throws the flowers and runs as fast as he can. The 4th of July parade is going on. Everybody's having a good time except for Drew. He goes to the beach and cries. While the fireworks pop, he runs into Heather, and she's sitting there looking sad, crying too. They start talking, and Heather asks Drew if it was him that did that to Harold's car. He confesses to it, and she thanks him. They end up kissing under the fireworks and sleeping together on the beach. Now, this part of the movie always disgusted me because Drew was a 16-year-old little boy, and Heather was a grown woman. We don't know how old she is, but she's definitely in her mid to late 20s. That was absolutely unacceptable. I wonder where the writers' heads was at when they made this part, because what? Like, y'all could have made a girl his age. Like, that would have been better. Even Lauren, she was horrible. She did him so wrong. But it would have been better if he would have ran into a girl that was his age and then, whatever. But yeah, this was back in the day, y'all. Drew wakes up in the morning on the beach confused. He puts on his pants and walks on the beach where he finds Heather. She's standing there looking lost. She tells him goodbye and Drew walks off. Back at the house, Brenda is getting worried until Drew walks up to the house. Kenny pulls him to the side and asks him where he was last night. Drew tells him that he hung out with a girl last night, which made his father happy, and he asked if he was okay. Drew says he's fine. They hug and laugh. I wonder how Kenny would have reacted if he knew his son was really with a grown woman. He probably would have been even more happy, sadly. Drew asks his father how him and his mom are doing, and he says everything is fine. Junior runs outside and asks Drew what happened with Lauren. Drew tells him that he wasn't with Lauren. Junior gets excited and runs to call his friends. All the family members hug as Kenny packs up the car, and everybody has made up. The family pulls off. Junior runs out the house chasing the car. He wants to know who he slept with. Junior goes to the psychiatrist to thank her and tell her goodbye. Drew tells his parents that he had a nice vacation, and his parents hug while Drew smiles and stares off into the sky. More than 30 years later, the Inkwell remains important because it captures something we don't always see enough on the screen. It celebrates Black joy, it celebrates family traditions, it celebrates awkward teenage years. It reminds us that not every meaningful story has to revolve around tragedy. Sometimes a great story is simply about one unforgettable summer and the people who helped shape your life. That's exactly what the Inkwell gives us. If you've never seen the Inkwell, it's definitely worth checking out. And if you have seen it, chances are there's at least one scene, one song, or one moment that instantly takes you back. So what do you think? Is the Inkwell one of the most underrated coming-of-age films of the 90s? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future retrospectives on classic films. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!